All right, good evening, Corpus Christi and surrounding areas. I'm here with John Benson, the city manager of the city of Beeville. Thank you so much, John, for sitting down with us today and talking in regard to the water regional supply here in South Texas. Now, first question I'm going to ask you is, when will the city of Beeville run out of water?
We don't have a specific date on when we will run out of water. Obviously, the low water levels in Lake Corpus Christi are a concern to us and to our customers, and we're continuing to monitor that closely, but we do not have a specific date or know when we're going to run out of water. Currently we're able to get enough water through our intake structure in Lake Corpus Christi that's supplying our water needs.
Now, I just left Sweeney Switch right by the pumping station there, along, close to Donato, where water intake is. It looks to be very shallow there. It looks like a stream of water rather than a full lake or a full river. What could this be causing any type of water quality issues here in the city of Beeville at this point?
We have seen anytime the lake level gets low like it is now, historically we've seen higher levels of organics in the water because of just the dilution. There's less water, but the amount of organics is decreased, but not necessarily at an equal rate or ratio. So we have seen higher levels of organics in the water that have in turn increased the levels of TTHMs in the water. We monitor that. We have had some issues with higher TTHMs on a quarterly average over the last 2 years, but currently, knock on wood, we're maintaining our acceptable levels, and hopefully we will continue to do that.
Now, so also that y'all had a big water main break here in March of 2025, and then also reports of yellow coloring in 2024. What are some of the immediate steps for the city of Beeville to keep clean water flowing into homes?
So the water main break was occurred on our raw water transmission line that pumps water from the lake to our water treatment plant. We had our contractor, while repairing that, had an unexpected blowout on that line, which resulted in us losing water to part of the city for a longer period of time. The following day, one of our water storage tanks ran dry, which lost water to part of the city, which resulted in a water boil because of the low water pressure in that area of town. In the timeline, we lost the second water in a tower about a day later, further decreasing that. So that was the impact. That water line has been repaired, and we're back in full operation since then without any significant or without any incidents. The water discoloration goes back to was a result of the high organic levels and the low water level. And that occurs, we know that occurs anytime after heavy rains or significant rains. It adds more organics actually off the shore or along the lake and river levels along the Nueces River get into the water as the water levels increase. That in turn causes increased discoloration. Our treatment plant removes a lot of that, but can't always remove 100% of that discoloration. The water is still safe to drink. We've had TCEQ come out and test the water when that has happened in the past, and it meets TCEQ and EPA standards, but there is water discoloration, but the water is still safe to drink. We try to inform, and we've notified our customers that of just those instances when that occurs, that this will occur again when there's rains. So, for instance, last night on Wednesday night, I haven't seen the rainfall totals at Lake Corpus Christi, but from the radar that I saw, I'm guessing the water levels are going to increase because it looked like Live Oak County received some rain there. So we're monitoring the water levels, and if that is in fact the case, we'll be notifying our water customers of the possibility for water discoloration as a result.
Now, how has the plant upgraded its filtration to prevent any type of scare for discoloration, especially with the lake being at 17%? at this point?
So we haven't changed anything right now. We have hired an engineering firm and we have they are in the process of finalizing construction plans to upgrade and rehab our filtering system at our water treatment plant, as well as our two of our existing clarifiers. And that will help on the TTHM levels that I mentioned a moment ago, and should help with the water discoloration issue as well. I don't want to promise that the water discoloration will go away, but it should help with the frequency that occurs.
Now, is the city of Beeville looking to find new locations to handle the drying of the riverbed?
We've engaged Garver Engineering to undertake an alternative water source analysis that's currently in process. We have looked at different sources, potential sources of alternative water for the city as a primary source or an additional primary source. We have our council and the Beeville Water Supply District have given direction. We are moving in the direction of adding more wells, pulling more water from wells, whether that's uncapping previously capped wells and treating that water, or drilling more wells. And they're in the process of determining just that approach, and then how that water needs to be treated.
How many more wells are you planning to open up or uncap?
We estimate that's 2 to 3 more wells.
Okay.
And that really depends. We don't know that information. It depends how much water each well can produce.
And where would they be?
Where will they be?
Yes, sir.
That's also in process of being determined, likely within our city limits, though it's potentially we could be drilling wells out at our current water treatment plant. It depends on the type of water treatment that's needed and the cost of the other improvements. In our water treatment plant's located 22 miles from our city limits, and there's other operational cost issues and capital costs, so it may be more long-term cost effective to put the wells inside our city limits and treat the water here.
Now, what's the demand for the city of Beeville as far as capacity of water that's needed?
Our average daily consumption is approximately 3.3 million gallons per day.
Okay.
Our water treatment plant is licensed to go up to at 7 million gallons a day, and we have an alternative, a secondary water supply of wells out at the former Chase Naval Air Station that can produce up to 1.7 million gallons per day. Currently, we're able to pull just slightly under 1 million gallons per day from those wells.
Now, are you negotiating any water sharing agreements or any type of possible state emergency aid from the governor of Texas?
We're not currently negotiating. We have been speaking with TCQ, the Texas Water Development Board, and we'll be meeting with the governor's office as well to discuss these water issues and our water needs.
Do you know when y'all will meet with the governor of Texas?
Within the next week, we'll be meeting with their office.
Okay. Now, what's the long-term goal for the city of Beeville as far as water goes?
So in our alternative water source analysis, we are looking at that to be a truly permanent solution to our water. We're not wanting to move away. We'll still pull water as needed and want to have access to water from Lake Corpus Christi, but really it will depend on the quality of the wells, the water we can pull from the wells, and the type of treatment that will be needed. But we're looking at that as a long-term permanent solution for the city's needs, so that we become drought tolerant. So future droughts, which we know will happen, history tells us that.
Right.
When there are droughts in the future, we will not be impacted by this again.
Now, how will you be able to communicate this to the residents of B County or Beeville residents?
So Garver Engineering has a public relations group that we are working with, and we'll continue to provide information to the public as we progress through these steps, as well as in context to our drought, as we continue in our drought contingency plan with the drought in the various stages of the drought.
Okay. Now, if summer brings, right now y'all are sitting at stage 3, and if summer brings stage 4 water restrictions, or even worse, will What's the big move for Beeville to avoid a catastrophic water failure?
So right now, what we've been doing is asking our water customers to conserve water, and they've done it over the past year. They've done an outstanding job. We've met under our drought contingency at each stage. There's goals for maximum water consumption throughout the system, and our water customers have heard that, and they've met that challenge, and we're very appreciative of that. Obviously, as we went into stage 3, that challenge becomes even greater, and we are currently doing pushing information out to our water customers and educating them regarding the water restrictions, not suggestions now, but restrictions of limiting prohibited watering yards, limits on washing cars at home, no pools. For instance, our city swimming pool will not be open this summer because it uses a significant amount of water. So our council has made the tough decision to not open the city swimming pool this summer in the city of Beeville, and some of our residents understandably are not happy with that because they go to the pool or their kids go to the pool, and the city swimming pool won't be available this year, unfortunately, because of the drought restrictions.
That's John Benson, the city manager for the city of Beeville. Thank you so much for allowing us to talk to you and reaching out to the public in regard to all the news that's taking place here in Beeville.
Thank you for having me on. I appreciate the opportunity to provide information on what's happening with the Beeville's water system.
Thank you so much.